How do you begin? How do you begin after watching something like that yesterday? Why the fuck did you get off the bus, Eagles? Why'd you get off the fucking bus? 4 hours powered by our friends at BetUS, starting the show off always with our traditional big sells. You know, I started my weekend off great because the Canes survived against Virginia Tech, great college football. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, were dismantled, destroyed, crushed. I mean, not much to say here, but a lot. Holy shit. Hey, remember I made the proclamation that come Monday, the Washington Commanders will be in first place. Well, this just in. The Washington Commanders are in sole first place in the NFC East. You're welcome. You're welcome. They were destroyed by the Buccaneers. For a second straight game. I'm starting to wonder if 2022 for Jalen Hurts was an anomaly. Because that guy has sucked since the start of the 2023 season. And he's progressively gotten worse. And what I don't like about Jalen Hurts, first thing he does is create controversy with his head football coach just by his snide-ass remarks. Nick Sirianni, we'll get to him. Let's start with the players, though. By the way, Angelo Cataldi at 3:30. Gary Cobb, Fox 29 at 43. Zander Krause will join us in the 5 o'clock hour. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button. And by the way, if some of you fucking snowflakes are not going to like what I say today, try not to make this about me. I've been dead right the entire time. By the way, everybody will have casualty today. From the front office, the owner, to the general manager, to the quarterback, to the head coach, is all going to take shrapnel. This is going to be an equal opportunity offender. That was a disgrace. That was a disgrace. Well, you didn't have your players. Welcome to the fucking NFL. Welcome to the NFL. So wait a minute. Jalen doesn't have everything perfect? He can't play? The guy is the biggest turnover machine in the National Football League. Make no excuses for it. He is the biggest turnover machine in pro football. I'm going to go to the takeaways here in a second. Why'd you get off the bus? You're 2-2 heading into the bye. There's a boatload of NFC teams right now that you have no, I don't know who the better teams are right now. I don't. Hey, Sills, you need to get back on your knees to show your boy Allen. Hey, Allen loses to fucking Lamar Jackson. Okay, 34? You can't beat Baker Mayfield. I was waiting for this, dude. Jalen Hurts can't beat Baker Mayfield. At least Allen loses to the reigning MVP. Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. And you can't prove me otherwise wrong. At least he's losing to MVPs. You're losing to a journeyman. How you doing? Sills, I missed Friday's show, but I heard you talked about Gandolfini, my late uncle, Tony. Cool. Love it. Thank you, Kimberly. Really cool. You're losing to Lamar Jackson. You can't beat Baker Mayfield. He has owned you for 2 straight games and outplayed you. Mayfield outplayed Hurts and looks to be the superior quarterback. How you doing? So let's get to the pathetic showing of the 33-16 ass beating. Holy shit. Let me get the excuses from Philly fan. Injuries, coaching, the heat. Let me hear them. How pathetic can you be? This team is a damn dumpster fire. Told you from day one it was. You bring back the greatest coach in the history of the NFL, according to some. Injuries clearly played a factor in this game, especially on the offense. No excuses. It's the NFL. Hurst was sacked 6 times. His pocket presence is pathetic. Pathetic. He has no feel for the pocket. The Bucs didn't have a sack going into the game. They had 6. The defensive effort was one of the absolutely biggest problems of the entire afternoon. The effort, the scheme, the desire to want to play was nowhere. Unbelievable. The defense didn't want to play because it was too fucking hot. Hey, and that right there, Ace, what you just said, at least Hurts has been to a Super Bowl, is a fluke. It's a fluke he got to the Super Bowl. Shooter, unbelievably true. Enjoy the content, Sills. Keep up the great work. Hey, 34, it's a fluke. Until proven otherwise, 2022 was a fluke. A fluke. Fluke. That guy's not a good quarterback. He's Tyrod Hurts. This entire situation, 2018 and 20 all over again. Amen. Draft picks aren't contributing. Horrible contracts. Roseman is making the same exact mistakes. That's right, because they run it from the owner's box. Nick is a joke. Jalen sucks. Sure. Hurts is a fluke. Jalen Hurts is a fluke. I haven't seen a good game by Jalen Hurts, 60-minute game, since the Super Bowl. He's a fluke. If you had a better quarterback, you're probably undefeated. Only 10 carries for Barkley is a joke. No, it's not when you have 9 plays in the first quarter. No, it's not. Please, guys, hit the like button. I'm going to get to your takes. You know I do. 455 yards of offense from a team that was ranked in the late 20s. Total offense. 455 on your vaulted, no-holes fucking defense. There ain't a player on that football team I would want on my team right now on the defensive side of the football. Not fucking one. Not one. Maybe Mitchell. Cam Ward to the Eagles. Trade Hurts. Fire Nick. They had 111 yards rushing. They're not even a rushing football team. I mean, seriously, for the second straight game, Baker Mayfield has owned the Eagles. 30 of 40, 347, 2 TDs and a rushing touchdown. What? $18 fucking missed tackles. You're the worst tackling football team in the National Football League, and it's not close. Turnovers. Hurts in the last 20 games has 27 turnovers. He's horrible. He's horrible. Nick, Howie, Jeff, Jalen, defense, salute Sills. Thank you, Trey. Please hit the like button. Insane. Just insane. You've now lost 10 of your last 13 ball games. How come I look at the 2024 season and I see the 2023 Eagles? Thank you, CJ. Hey, guys, don't you see the same team? Don't you see the same team? What's different? Injuries. Welcome to the NFL. They wanted to learn the hard way, Sills. Now they can't handle the truth. No, what they'll do, audience here will blame me for being the deliverer of it. By the way, I'm not shocked it sucks. You guys kept telling me you have addressed all your needs in the draft and in free agency and what have you. I said that defense will be a bottom 5 defense. And it's playing out that way. You know, I actually see idiots online comparing the turnovers right now with Mahomes to Hurts. The only difference is that Mahomes is going for his 3rd straight NFL championship, and they're fucking 4-0. And they've got a great organization from top to bottom, from coordinators to head coach to play caller to the quarterback. Once again, guys, there's going to be about 20 people in here that are going to try to make me out to be part of the story. I'm not. We only talk about what we saw yesterday. I have nothing to do with this, except the things that I've been telling you. That defense was going to be a bottom 5 defense again. Again. There it is. And that Hurts is not an elite quarterback. He's actually, at times now, below average. Your fucking 2 defensive tackles are a disgrace to the uniform. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are fucking disgraces. Jalen Carter getting IVs. You played in Georgia, son. You played in Georgia. So did you, fat body Davis. 2 lazy, undisciplined defensive tackles. Boy, did they miss Fletcher Cox. The show where I come to hear how bad my team is, but to get no resolutions to fix it. Yes, you've been right. We're bad. How do we fix it? Let me get through the fucking game first, Anthony, and then I'll get there. Fix it? Fix what? Your bad personnel? You can't. Fix what? Fix what? You got bad players on defense. Fix what? Fix what? What? What are you going to fix? Huff? He sucks. Nolan Smith? He's a bust. Jordan Davis? He's a bust. Fix what? They suck. He can't fucking draft defensive players. When is that going to get through your head? I've been saying it for 4 years. Fix what? Bucs had 29 first downs. But Nolan Smith and Bryce Huff are atrocious. You know what? Just to show you how fucked up this whole thing is, Bear Brooks was on this network about 2 years ago telling you that Nolan Smith would be the steal of the draft. I told you Nolan Smith is a 3rd rounder at best. He thought he was the 5th pick. I'm like, where do you see that? I didn't see that at Georgia. The preparation for the team was just atrocious. It was atrocious. They weren't prepared. It looked like they wanted to get to the bye. They didn't want to play in the game against the Bucs. They had very little heart. That's the problem right there that I have. You didn't play with any energy or heart. You were soft. The colossal disaster that Howie Roseman has made, the Jahan Dotson deal is, I mean, it was in the 4th quarter before he got his first catch. They needed more from him in a game like that. I mean, the defense was brutal. Team was not prepared. Kellen Moore was as predictable as Brian Johnson. Holy shit. He looked like Brian Johnson. That offense looked exactly like Brian Johnson's offense. It's almost like they took the playbook from the year ago and applied it to the Bucs. I'll tell you this. The Philadelphia Eagles are the worst 2-2 team in the league. Because you have the worst defense. The Philadelphia Eagles are the worst 2-2 team in the league. Your quarterback is a turnover machine and your defense can't stop anything. I mean, Eagle defense, first 4 drives, 3 TDs and a field goal. Bryce Huff, 1 solo tackle in 33 snaps. Keep it real on like these hurts. I get it, man. I get it, man. Still, it infuriates that I have to fight this quarterback. I want to fight this quarterback. I would uppercut, buddy. Hey, Brian, if he doesn't have great players around him, he cannot elevate anybody. He's just not great. Nakobe Dean is terrible. End of story. Stop it. God almighty, is he awful. You are putting practice squad players on the field now. Look, I kind of get the offense struggling because of the amount of players, but what was the defense's excuse? CJ Gardner-Johnson is a fucking joke. He's terrible. Jahan Dotson didn't show up. Unlike Gary Cobb, 4:30 Eastern. Why are you putting Avonte Maddox on Mike Evans? What are you thinking? He couldn't cover that tight end. And now Nick Sirianni. I don't know what's left to say. He should be fired. But does it matter? Firing Nick Sirianni be like firing Mike McCarthy. What's the point? Front offices run both teams. You know why you don't win more Super Bowls? You don't let people do their jobs. Just like Dallas. You're no different than Dallas. If you win one more playoff game than Dallas does, what's the point? What? Your season is extended one extra week? A lot of people are going, fire Nick. What's the point? Should have been fired. Dude, he shouldn't be allowed back in the organization or back into the building. But what's the point? What's the point? He has no answers. He has no solutions. He talks about accountability. I'm going to get to his comments here in a second. I'm going to show you how fucked up it is and how he's the complete fault of this. Let me tell you a little secret here. You know why nobody criticizes Jalen Hurts? Because it's a criticism of Howie Roseman. To give you an example of this, and then we're going to talk about Jalen Hurts. Didn't get caught looking into the backfield. Every pass coverage. Maddox is a liability. Fire Nick. Trade the trash away for picks 25. Oh, wait. Can't draft. We have to look at Howie for putting this team together. How did they use this type of defensive scheme for? Right. Wait, and I'm going to tell you something else. Polsky, he drafted nothing but bust and inconsistent players. You know what he did, Polsky? He drafted people off the combines that didn't fit Vic's system. If this is not a Vic Fangio problem, you knew what you hired like you did when you hired Brian Johnson. Or when you hired, you knew what these guys wanted, how they played their scheme, what they needed, and you refused to address it. You have to have capable linebackers, not superstars, capable. You have none. You have to have safeties, Simmons was available. You didn't care. You thought Avonte Maddox was going to do the job that Justin Simmons is doing? Really? Atlanta's better right now than the Eagles. I grew up watching Brian Dawkins and them. Tired or tried of this week as brand of football. We've been on for this long. Folk used to be scared to play us. Tired of this weak-ass brand of football. We've been on for this long. Absolutely. Steve, you grew up watching really great football and tough-ass hitting football. Okay? You grew up watching Brian Dawkins and all those dudes. You're tired of this weak-ass brand of football. I get it. Okay? I get it. Folks used to be scared of playing the Eagles. No question. No question, Steve. This ain't a, you can't blame Fangio. You knew what the fuck he was going to do. You know what, folks? Hey, LJ's posting this. No one's listening to you, man. Because nobody listens to you. You're stupid. I'm not even going to acknowledge what you're reading because it means nothing. When you get drug up and down the field by the Bucs for the second straight game, your comments are dumb. He's the same guy also, LJ, that says Sirianni's a better coach than Andy Reid. So take it for what it's worth. Sills, we all know you were right about this team, but you're already foreseeing this because of the lack of personnel. At least we have the Phillies and Flyers. Ace, it's not about being right. It's about the front office not addressing the needs of the football team. And many of you thought they did. These so-called experts. You know what? I've never come to a market before in my life and seen so many people not informed on how things are done. From some of the people that I respect, the only guy is Angelo. This is 100% on the owner. I love your show, Sills. Christopher, thank you, brother. Do me a favor. Okay? I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. How the Eagle organization and that piece of shit Bob Lang have manipulated you, the fans. If Andy Reid had this offense, it'd be unfair. It wouldn't be fair. Absolutely. Steve, it wouldn't be. By the way, the chats are going so fast right now. Thank you, guys. Please hit the like button. Welcome to Philly, Sills. Thank God for the fans. Thank God for the fans. Because you know what? You may tolerate their bullshit, but you don't tolerate it for long. That's the cool thing about you guys. You don't tolerate it for long. Eagles have a clueless clipboard high school coach in Sirianni calling plays. Embarrassing, non-aggressive defense that can't tackle. 7-10 at best. Hit the like button. Let me get to Nick here. I'm going to show you one of the biggest problems you have on your team here. By the way, please hit the like button, guys. Thank you so much. We are so cooked. Hurts look confused out there. Bob, do me a favor. Put your chat up again. Sills, those damn nerds ruined the team I love. mad as hell. I would steamroller Jalen Hurts right now. These bums make me sick. Bob, put it up there. Go ahead, man. By the way, you've got special teams guys running into fucking one another. Sills, you excelled in the four-man front. Tampa put you at nose. You had no feel for the nose. Correct. It was a huge mistake. What they did to Jalen Hurts is very similar. Let Hurts do what he does well. That's right, running the RPOs, Bob. They've ruined him, and they're continuing to ruin him, and they're making excuses for him. Guys, please hit the like button here. Let's get to it here. So here's Nick Sirianni after the game. Some people's favorite coach in the planet, greatest coach in Eagle history. We have to coach better and we have to play better. No shit, guy. That's not an epiphany. Drops and missed tackles. Once again, not a fucking epitome. I mean, this is not ground-breaking shit here. Here's something that he won't tell the truth. He was asked a question about Hurts' pocket presence. You know what he did? He goes, I got to coach better. Jalen, why don't you just say it? He's got to improve. What's wrong with criticizing him? The head coach they don't coach Jalen hard enough. They're like afraid of him. How do you think Mike Tomlin would coach Jalen Hurts after a performance like that, where they needed him to step up and be the leader on the team? Once again, Eagles are the worst 2-2 team in the league. You know why he's not criticizing Hurts? Because it's a criticism of Howie. He doesn't want to criticize Howie's players. They don't criticize Bryce Huff. They don't call anybody out. How do you not call people out? You only call the coaching staff out. I don't get it. Why do we play 10 yards off to limit the explosive play? Right. They killed you with underneath plays, the Bucs. Man, Brian Flores Todd Bowles is just like, fucking, this was easy. It was an easy game for an average team. Can't tackle. So it turns out to be an explosive play anyway. Mozzie or Bryce, puff. I don't know. Pick your loser. They won't accept criticism or criticizing their team. $250 million for an average quarterback. He's average right now. We're going to get to him in a second. Jalen Hurts is average. 20 games, 27 turnovers. He's average. Scariest thing is that the Eagles fungus has deep roots. There's no quick fix here. Nope. Even if they knew what was needed, which they don't. Right. Jalen Hurts is well below average right now. He's regressed. 2022 was a fluke until proven otherwise. He's a fluke. 1 year wonder. Hurts is a 1 year wonder. Hey, I got to play better. I got to be this. It starts with me. I got to be fucking shut the fuck up, Jalen Hurts. I'm so sick of hearing that. Got to be this. Got to be that. Got to do this. Well, get out and do it. Get out and do it. God dang, that organization is nothing but excuse makers. No wonder the fans give Jalen the benefit of the doubt, because the organization holds nobody accountable. Nick Sirianni talks accountability, and yet at the end of the day, they hold no one accountable. Then you have this gem. So you get murdered in a game. Here, wait. Let me show you something. Ready? Receiver defer. That's how close the Bucs-Eagle game was. After that, it was over. The coin toss. It was over after the coin toss. Let's get to Jalen Hurts. He elevates nobody. He's not. I don't know what to say anymore. He's not who you thought he was. I know who he was. Didn't take long for the league to catch him. Took about 18 months. Caught up with him. They got his number. He'll never beat Todd Bowles ever again. That was too easy for Todd. I don't care if you had your full allotment of players. I'm not sure you beat him. Shit, you had Devontae last year. You had Lane last year. And they still kicked the shit out of you. I mean, they still beat the fuck out of you. Wentz said the same crap week after week. Same shit. 2023. Remember you guys told me not to keep bringing up 23? Why? Looks like the same shit. Lurie got robbed $250 million. She says this team is a mess. The head coach is a nothing burger. The front office gets in the way, and the quarterback isn't good. I'll see you in 2030. Jalen Hurts. His pocket presence is awful. His ability to find the open receiver is terrible. Barkley was wide open. Yes, Angelo at 3:30. Gary Cobb, 4:30. Zander will be with us in the 5 o'clock hour. There's nothing redeeming about Jalen Hurts' game right now. Can I tell you a statistic? Hey, Zander, do you know this? Everyone, do you know since the first game of the 2023 season and the first 4 games this year, do you know who has a better quarterback rating than Jalen Hurts? Justin Fields. Justin Fields has a better quarterback rating since the start of the 23 season and the 4 games in 2024 than Jalen Hurts. Justin Fields. Justin Fields is more effective right now than Jalen Hurts is. Without Barkley, Eagles are 0-4. No. Yell goes, is Fields the comp now? I don't know. I just made a point that he's been more effective with lesser talent than Jalen Hurts has. You could make the point all you want. Say that here, let me get to Yale's point. How about this? Well, he can't beat Mayfield. And Justin Fields has a higher quarterback rating. So what do you want? What's the metric then, Yale? Mahomes? WIP and the other shills covered this team on a pedestal and said they fixed everything. And as you know, Anthony, you and I don't agree on everything. But one thing is for sure, you know, when you came here, I said they didn't address anything. Since the day we lost to Tampa in January, Sills called this, was right about everything. Philly media is pathetic. Anthony, thank you. You and I don't agree on everything. Now, again, the draft choices of this year, why would you draft 2 corners when you needed an edge with that second rounder? What were you thinking? And this is the beauty of it all. So your team's getting fucking annihilated. Annihilated. And Darius Slay's telling you how great he is? And that's a captain on your team? No, the best available player were those 2 linebackers, Wilson and Cooper. So Slay is telling you how great he is after they give up almost 400 yards in passing. And he's telling you how great he is, and he's a captain on your team? Then what does he do to his social media? He locks it down so not everyone can read all his posts. He's a child. He's not a leader. He's a fucking child. Guy's a child. Still, those turnovers don't matter because Jalen Hurts looks good committing them. And for absolutely no reason, Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. I know. And get this. Peyton Manning couldn't jump over a stack of quarters, but, you know, every time I hear that 600-pound squat thing, I laugh because it means dick. Stills professionals don't make or have excuses. That's right. They have answers. So Darius Slay is going on social media telling you how great he is and how bad his teammates are. That's how I read that. Hey, this ain't me. It's those guys. I'm not the cause of this. They are. That's some teammate. Hey, Nick, where's the accountability on that? That's right. Team sport 84. You ride and die together. Can you imagine? You got a guy in Philly, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, home of the Flyers, home of, I don't say Sixers because of that piece of shit owner, Eagles and Phillies. And you got a guy not in the same boat with the rest of his teammates. In Philly, Jerome Brown turning over in his grave. Turning over in his grave. Andre Waters turning over in his grave. Same guy who gave up the game-winning touchdown. Ain't me. It's them. I got nothing to do with this mess. Not me. Well, who are you the captain of? He's this. You got a bunch of talkers on your Eagles. Hurts, the head coach. You know the only guy that kind of speaks the truth is Vic. Not kind of, he does. The rest of them are all chin waggers. Man, but that's how the organization likes it. Hey, Bob, I know you're watching too. Little birdie told me, you can't fix this, Bob. Bob, you can't fix this. I've got you now. No holds bar off the top rope, motherfucker. There's nothing. Fix what? Fix what? Fix what? Fix what? Now let's get to Howie. You notice nobody in the Philly media attacked him. This network does. Sills, Hertz was defeated when he stepped off the bus. He knew Bulls had his number. He looked like a shell of himself. He wouldn't even take off to run or create anything with his legs. Zander, I missed that last one, the green one, before right after breaded. Thank you very much, my friend. And Jalen Hurts said he wanted more responsibility. He wanted to be a leader. I saw somebody quitting yesterday on the team again. No holds defense, more like a lot of holes defense. This is a disgrace. Now Howie, who I'm not supposed to criticize because those guys get all upset. This is his fault. Jalen looked like Danny Dimes with Barkley with no wide receivers. Well, shit, those guys got to a playoff. You're up next, Howie. You built this mess. You traded for Dotson, who's a bust. Washington tried telling you. Doesn't it ever cross your mind when an in-division opponent trades a guy away to a division opponent? Didn't it cross your mind? Damn, something's got to be wrong here. Nope. Hell, I thought he'd be functional just in a role. He's terrible. Paris Campbell's better. Paris Campbell's better than Dotson. And look what the Eagles did by paying those two wide receivers. Remember when I had an argument with Zander, Krause, and I said, you got the worst wide receiving group of any team in the NFC. He was like, you're crazy. I said, outside the top two, you ain't got anybody. One of those guys goes down, it's over. One of those guys goes down, it's over. Two go down, you're a laughingstock. He needs to take his ass back to the closet again. So let me ask you this. The two tackles are underperforming. Bryce Huff is a failure. Nolan Smith is a bust. Dean's a bust. Bond, I don't know, up and down. I'm okay with that. Quinion, I have a lot of hope for him. Slay, horrible leader. I would hate to have him on my team. Avonte Maddox can't play. Sweat is okay. What exactly do you have on defense that made you think you were going to be a good team? What made you think you were going to be good? Now I know why they kept Bradbury. Now I know why. They didn't believe anything they had back there. Once again, for the fourth year in a row, Howie Roseman can't draft defensive players. The organization struggles with it. Either they struggle with it or they don't care and it's not a priority. I mean, they struggle with drafting wideouts. Well, Sills, we got Devontae. How hard was that when you get an Alabama wideout? They really don't suck when they come out of Alabama, do they? Can you think of a wide receiver that really blows? Dude, the guy who's up in Detroit even, Jamison Williams, who's not off to a great start, is good. You know, one sure thing at Bama, you know, like LSU, Judy, I don't get this. Judy is 10 times better than Jalen Reagor. And he's probably the worst to come out of Bama. So why won't Vic play Cooper and Rodgers? Because he doesn't trust them. Either has to be better than Maddox. You sure about that? So wait a minute. You really think that Vic is going to play somebody who he thinks is not going to give him a chance to win? Dean can't tackle. I mean, why not dress White? If you weren't going to dress Devin White this past weekend against his former team, who treated him like that, he'll never play it down in Philadelphia ever, unless there's an injury to some of the two starters with Bond or Dean. He ain't playing. He ain't playing. Jalen Hurts has regressed so massively. There's no excuses anymore. He's not good. He's okay. Do you have any concerns? Does any of you? Or no? Are you going to still make excuses for him? How about this? I get the top flight talent wasn't in the huddle. I get it. But what do you constitute for the pocket presence? Overthrowing Barkley. All the things. There were wide open guys again. And he's missing them. I'm talking that stuff. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give him, Hurts, the benefit of the doubt of not having his top flight guys in there. Okay. But not the overthrows, the pocket presence, and the urgency that Brady talked at. Length about. Brady's like this. He just doesn't have a feel for the pocket. Baker Mayfield had a sack on him. And Tom Brady goes, I can't believe he held on to it. You're trying to tell me that Baker Mayfield has more security of the football than what Hurts does? Hey, that hot dogging with that one hand. Who does he think he is? Primetime? Tuck that ball away, guy. And I would tell him that. Tuck that football away. And he'd go, why? And I'd go, well, because you got 27 turnovers in 20 games. I mean, don't you want to at least try to alleviate a potential turnover again? Or what is this? Hot dog Hurts. Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback since the start of the 23 season than Hurts. You have nowhere on the planet to prove me otherwise wrong. Where? He's beaten them twice, 2 times in a row, once in the playoffs. He's thrown for almost 600 yards in both games. He's put up over 60 points in 2 games. I'm trying to figure out where you think that guy's outplayed him. And he's won more games. He's won more games since the start of the 23 season, counting the playoffs, than Jalen Hurts. Y'all said the other couple minutes ago, Justin Fields is not who he's being compared to. Well, I can't compare him to Mayfield because Mayfield outplays him. How many people in here are starting to believe that the 22 season was a one-year wonder? It'll never get. Remember what I told you guys before? That may be as good as it ever gets for Hurts. 17 games, $250 million off of 17 ball games is what you gave that guy. And you gave him a no trade. And you gave him the benefit in the contract of dictating with no outs because you effed up with Wentz. Would have loved for the Eagles to fight like Georgia did Saturday night, but I saw exactly what he said about the ratio. Kimberly, I got it. That was a good game, Georgia, Alabama. Zander, I missed that last super chat. Please, guys, all super chats go to the top. By the way, give me a running total here on where we are with the likes. Dude getting paid $50 million. Shouldn't need a system. You know what sucks? I hate being right on this. Okay? Here's Joho. Seals, on the radio, they said they can't bench Hurts. Why is that? If he consistently keeps turning the effing ball over, why can't they? Because the owner doesn't want him to. That's an owner decision. Benching a $50 million a year guy. Guys, do me a favor. Please give me a heads up on the like list here. I think it's too early to bench him. Okay? It's too early. You're 2-2. 2-2. Thank you, Just Mike. Guys, please hit the like button. Your super chats have been insane. 3:30, Angelo Cataldi. I can't wait to have him just unload on this team and on this coach. That's 3:30. Gary Cobb at 4:30 from Fox 29 in Philadelphia, former Eagle himself. Zander in the 5 o'clock hour. Let's be real, Sills. Defense was terrible yesterday. Atrocious. We were down weapons on offense. Defense was supposed to hold its own. Yeah. All of that's true. By the way, I loved how everybody came at me after the Saints game. And I told you, I said, so you think everything's fixed, right? People were like, yeah. And I'm like, absolutely not. That's what they can be. That's not who they are yet. Once again, you're kind of showing who you are. Look at this. Green Bay. By the way, to Zander's point that he made on the postgame show, stop with the Brazil field, John. That's no bearing. That team sucks on a skating ring, on a basketball court, on a football field, on a Tiddlywinks field. Doesn't matter. They suck. It has no bearing because the other team plays on that shitty field too. Yeah, right. Who are you going to bench him for? Pickett? It's Kenny Pickett. Get that shit out of here. I'm with you. I'm not. If my option's Pickett, no thank you. The Eagles are in worse shape with Hurts than they are with Wentz if this continues to disintegrate. Because you can't get rid of him. He has the cards. Hurts is average, but coaches are to blame. Again, Jeremiah? Another coach, huh? Don't know how to get Hurts. Easy throws to build rhythm on offense like Baker. Let's see here. So now we got coaching problems again. Okay, Nick, Shane, Doug, and now Kellen. 4 coaches. Can't get it right with them. Or one coach did because he didn't have him read defenses. Isn't it funny? The only coach that he had success with was the one that didn't ask him to read defenses. Jesus criminy. Tell me you see that. The only coach that Jalen Hurts had success with was the one that didn't ask him to be a pure quarterback. Are you not getting that? And by the way, Shane Steichen's going to get Anthony Richardson murdered in Indianapolis. Guy goes out with an injury, shoulder injury, puts him back in, and he runs him on the first play. I was like, well, that's not smart. I'm starting to really think the analytics department dictating so much and interfering so much, it's ruining everything. Harv. Yeah, they've always done this. Harv, I hate to do this to you, brother, but let me hook you up here. I've never seen a market where the organization like the Eagles controls a narrative and they put it out for their fans to buy, and the fans buy it and take the media at good faith with it. Here, look at what this guy thinks I'm doing here. Hold on. Where's that tool that said that? Sills is here to put here, this one. Did you see something different? Dickafest? Hey, Dickafest. Did you see something different Sunday? Did you? Another guy who won't believe his eyes. Okay? You're associated with the Philly medium or town. You look for negatives. Wasn't hard. Look for negatives yesterday there, Twizzball. What do you want me to? What was a positive yesterday? Hey, Twizzball. What was the positive? You want me to make a positive out of that bullshit? You got the wrong guy. Twizza. They need to stop giving these quarterbacks all the power sales. It's burning all of us alive in these contracts we are stuck with. It's trash for years now. Yeah. Oh, no. And plus you gave them no, it's the no trade. Oh, I'm not done there yet. Says you forgot to go out. Oh, I'm not done yet. I told you there'd be no survivors. Howie Roseman built this mess under the direction of somebody. I want my offense to look like Baltimore's offense. My goodness. They made Buffalo quit. Yeah, well, when you have a battering ram, and it took them a couple weeks to figure out how to use Derrick Henry, last 2 weeks, Derrick Henry's got over 300 yards rushing. And he's putting the wood to people. Baltimore might be the best team in the league. Because they're figuring out how to use them 2 dudes. Please hit the like button, guys. Angelo Cataldi will be at the bottom of the hour at 3:30. Now Jeffrey Lurie. This is what the owner wanted. An empowered quarterback who's not that good. A head coach who's a puppet, general manager who watches his money. Jeffrey Lurie wants a theatrical show, not a championship football team. And he wants a championship. He lucked into the 17 title. Jeffrey Lurie couldn't build a championship team. Doug delivered one for him. The 2017 Philadelphia Eagle championship is as much a fluke as Jalen Hurts is. Unfortunately, I told you that the defense and the team was going to progressively get worse. And it is. The quarterback's getting worse. The head coach has no answers. The defense is far from being good. And the offense, when you mean to tell me you lose A.J. Brown and the wheels come off? I mean, the wheels come off? Seals, do you think the team takes a lackluster attitude from Hurts? I think Brady mentioned it. I see him sitting alone on the bench and wonder. We all heard how great of a leader he is, but I don't know. Jeff, I never thought Jalen Hurts was a great leader. I always think Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, I think he's a good follower. He's not a great leader. He's a great follower. If I see a bad play, leadership is changing out of it, contradicting the coaches and having a better play, running your own offense, getting along with everybody, not throwing anybody under the bus. All of that. He does none of that. Had some shitty ass comment towards Nick. Not that I think Nick's worthy of being protected. He don't care. Everybody's on an island right now, including Darius Slay. Look, Slay embodies the team's identity. Nick Sirianni was asked what the identity of the team was. Darius Slay. Darius Slay is the identity of the team. Ain't me. It's you. Ain't me. So Devin White retweets the Levante David sack. Slay tweets his stats. Isaiah craps all over himself with the push into DeJean. Brian, I mean, Devin White then comes up with an excuse. Oh, that's my homie, and we're good, and we're this. And that organization took a shit on you. And so did Levante David. They said you quit on him. You did. Stop lying. He did that because he felt butthurt because they didn't dress him for the game. It was only a matter of time before Devin White showed who he was. What a train wreck. This is deeper than just getting killed by the Bucs. This is deeper. That's right. Yale's right. You pay that guy $6 million and he posts that shit. You turn around and you have Slay. You pay him $12 million. And he's telling everybody in Philly and around the league, ain't me. It's those losers. His teammates. That's your identity. And here, Here's the identity of the organization. Well, we don't have our top stars for our quarterback. You know, how about when Nick said this in the postgame show? Well, we didn't have our best player on the field. So your best player on the field is your wide receiver, you're in trouble. Your best player on the field can't be a wideout. Your best player on the field has to be your quarterback. What did Marcus Hayes say last week? Hurts might be the 8th best player in his own huddle. Okay. Well, that was on display Sunday. So you don't have A.J. Brown and your team unravels like that? Can't do anything offensively. That game was never close. It was close in wishful thinking. Nick Saban bench Hurts for a reason. No, we all get to see why. He's limited at quarterback, and the Eagles are finding out the hard way. Shit, Lincoln Riley used them the right way. Used them in RPO. Shane Steichen used them in the right way. RPO. Shit, this past week, Saban was talking about the Tua and Hurts dynamic. And he was talking about how he thought that Tua just had a better sense of control with the team, and the teammates really respected and loved him. I was like, wow, was that like a kind of a shot at Jalen? If Devin White is good enough for a revenge game against Tampa, why is he still on the team? Someone please answer that for me. Why is he on the team? He's on the team because Howie signed him. Sales, explain why Vic can't put an average unit together with all this experience, all his experience. Bob, this is talent. He doesn't have talent. Vic does not make his players better. Systems are made better by players, not systems making players better. You have to put the right pieces. That's like, hey, Bob, that's like putting chess pieces on a checkerboard. That goes back to the GM, Bob. If this is how they play without AJ, he could scream on the sidelines every game. Absolutely, Bean. Hey, you know when you hired Vic Fangio, what he does. 2 high safety, no blitzing, relies on edge rusher pressure, versatility with his guys with 3 technique, 4 technique, 5 and 7 out wide, all them guys. You know what you're looking for. Howie gave him a dysfunctional island of misfit toys. Nolan Smith's not good. Bryce Huff's not good. BG's the best edge rusher. The 2 tackles are underperforming. Linebacking core is atrocious. Your safety play is marginal at best. And you're very old and young at your corner positions. What'd you think you were going to be? Top 15 defense? Whoever said that? Look at this guy. Here's once again Dick Fest. Okay. Will somebody tell this guy? 27 turnovers in 20 games. Pocket presence. Even Brady's saying it. He doesn't have a feel for the pocket. That has nothing to do with AJ. That has nothing to do with Devontae. That has nothing to do with Lane. Brady's like he has no feel for the pocket. None. Tell you this, I'm starting to like Tom Brady more. I guess Baker Mayfield thought he was going to take a shot at Tom Brady by saying, last couple of years here in Tampa, it hasn't been a lot of fun. You know what Brady did? Brady fired back going, well, fun, huh? I thought going to Super Bowls and winning championships was fun. If I wanted fun, I'd take my family to Disneyland. I mean, I might not want to take a shot at the GOAT. Take a shot at it. Fun? Who said winning championships wasn't the hard? Dude, if winning championships, that's what Baker don't get. Hey, if winning championships was so easy, everybody would do it. Seals, they had Nolan Smith lined up in coverage against Godwin. How is scheme not the problem? He has nobody else to have him cover. You got to have better people cover him. I see Fred Warner do it. Andre, you're blaming coaches when you know who the coaches are. They have a pedigree. It's like a DNA. Coaches aren't going to change their DNA or their stripes. It's not who they are. Well, the scheme's now bad. The scheme's bad. No, the players are bad. You're right. Should Nolan Smith be covering Chris Godwin? Absolutely not. Why'd you hire Fangio then? When I saw that too, Abe, I laughed. I'm like, they don't have the players to play this defense. I've been telling you this since day one. Since day one. Vic's been telling you this. It's the players. This comes down to how we not get this. Yale says this comes down. Vic is coming up short. How? You knew he doesn't blitz. You know he plays too high safety. And if you don't have the players on the roster to play his style of defense, that's a Vic thing? You want me to try to make a good football team or a defensive football team with lousy players? Remember what Dave Onstead said on this program? Vic's not going to fail because of scheme. He's going to fail because he doesn't have the people. Here's Akbar. Yeah, but Sills, don't you have to teach these guys mechanics? I got to teach these guys mechanics, Akbar. In the National Football League, you draft and you sign free agents, so I don't have to do that. These are colossal failures by Roseman. So you're telling me that Vic has to try to make Bryce Huff a better player when he never has been? Another fluke. You're making it sound like Vic Fangio's scheme's going to turn Bryce Huff into Derek Thomas. Crazy. It doesn't work like that. You're either good or you're not.
Lost Big Sills for a second, everybody. Let me get him back. He's frozen on mine. I'm sure he's frozen on your end too. Sorry about that. His internet must have dropped. He'll be back in just a second. I'll give it a second to see if he jumps back in before I need to take a break. Appreciate everybody, by the way, on the show today. Hit that like button. I'm waiting for Big Sills to get back. Don't worry, I am not taking over for Dan today. I'm just waiting to see if his internet jumps back in. He is still frozen out, and I can't even remove him. So I'll see if he jumps back in here, and if he doesn't, I will get to a commercial break real quick and see if I can call Dan and see where he is. What's up, everybody in the chat? Appreciate it. James M. Reyes, what's up? African Surf, appreciate it all. And here's Big Sills. He's back. Howie got to him, everybody. Howie's listening. He said, pull the plug on JAKIB Sports. Let's go, Big Sills.
Hey, that's what it is here. Don't forget, you're going to catch Zander on at 5 o'clock. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Thank you so much. Schemes don't make it. Players make it. Now, can you put players in a bad position? Get this. Only you guys thought Kellen Moore was a really great offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore looked predictable, common, and average on Sunday. Why? Because he didn't have the players. He didn't have the players. You don't have the players. Look at Kellen. Eagles were number 2 coming into the game in offense. Shit, the Bucs look like the better team. The only way change will happen isn't Philly, is if the fan base holds Laurie and Roseman's feet to the fire. They care about perception, so let's make their perception terrible. Eagle Podcast. They'll do everything in their power with hair Bob Lang to make sure that narrative is not out there like that. Okay? That was as embarrassing as you can get. You know, it's funny. Nick Sirianni, I mean, he looks like dead man walking. I mean, anybody with any kind of common sense, if I'm walking off to the sidelines, and I see that guy in front of me, I'm walking the other way. You know why I'm walking the other way? Because I don't want to hear anything pathetic out of his mouth. And then get this, that defense that you guys thought was addressed. Well, wait a minute. You got to look up to the Yachtsman's captain. What'd you think? $2 linebackers? That overrated Huff? I'm going to start calling him HR Huff and Puff. Nolan Smith? Nolan Smith needs to put about 3 bricks in his pocket so he doesn't get killed by tight ends. And then my favorite of all time, man, before I get Angelo Cataldi on, this has to be something that, can you imagine Angelo? Oh my God, wait a minute. Can you imagine Angelo on the air on WIP when you got a turd like Darius Slay doing this? And that ain't me. That's those dudes. I mean, hey, I didn't make Baker Mayfield look like Joe Montana. 2 games in a row, too, Junior. Hey, not me. You're a captain, too? Oh, holy cow. Wonder what Brian Dawkins thinks of that. But then again, the identity of the Eagles is Darius Slay. Everyone's in it for themselves. The coaching of